Hello there, Itroo here. Today's video is going to be having a continuation of the last video, and we're going to be looking at the store system, and in particular we'll be having a look at the furniture store. So what we'll be doing is looking at the input items, how easy they are to obtain and maintain, and how powerful or useful the actual items that it's reducing its consumption is actually worthwhile. So the furniture store is unlocked when you hit tier 3 on the skyscrapers, and again it is boosted with electricity and has a wide range on its coverage. And again we have 5 recipes. The last 2 are locked behind the passage and Embesser. So if we have a look at the first one that we have the banker's lamp. Now the input items, the light bulbs, the glass and the brass, you can import them all. Now you're probably going to be making a certain amount of light bulbs anyway, and the benefit from this one is it actually reduces consumption by a high percentage on the light bulbs anyway. So for a small input of light bulbs, you're going to have a huge reduction on your light bulb consumption rate. Now it is a +4 on the happiness, which is fairly decent, and it is only 11% on income boosting, and it is again only affecting the rings. Now the rings are or can be a bit of a pain to make, however they are a fairly limited item because they are just a happiness and income boosting item for the actual population versus the light bulbs, which is a population size item. So the brass is very easy and good exchange rate, so is the glass. You're going to be producing light bulbs and it reduces consumption. So this is a fairly very useful one. The next one along, we'll be having a look at the vanity screen. Now the cotton, if you're going to be using the stuff from the New World, it's probably not advisable. You're probably better off utilizing this from the Global Trade Network from Docklands, as this is an importable item now. The cherry wood and the lacquer are a New World item which you cannot import. However, they are very easy to actually obtain and actually import anyway. You can use the forest density for the cherry wood, and again you'll be utilizing this for the lacquer. And if we have a look at the items, it is good at boosting happiness. It is quite good at increasing income. However, the 2 items it's actually affecting are the jewelry, pocket watches and jewelry. They're both just a happiness item, an income boosting item, which is fairly good if you're struggling on maintaining income. However, for boosting out population, which is more important, this isn't a good one. However, it is fairly good to mix in as an additional one because you will have a lot of these goods anyway. So this is a really good supplementary one. It isn't a good main one to use. So the next one along is the writing desk. Now the writing desk takes in veneers, which now we have in the import tray, and we can also be producing them as extra goods. The brass is a fairly easy commodity to obtain, manufacture or import, and again the lacquer, you'll be having a lot of it as it is very easy to make and is very quick to make as well. Now with the writing desk, this has the best bonus on happiness. It has a good income boosting, and it has a good percentages on its consumption reduction items. However, it is only the cigars, which again is fairly decent. It is one of the main items, and it is going to be one of the items that you're going to struggle on making if you're relying on the New World. Penny farthings, 25% reduction. Fairly useful, however that is just a happiness and income item. You can import them fairly easy and you'll be making a lot of these anyway, so these probably won't be a problem for you. The next one along is the Arctic DLC one. That's the 4-poster bed. And the items you'll be looking to get are the bear fur, cherry wood, and goose feathers. Now, the cherry wood, as previously, you'll have a lot of this, hopefully, with the forest density items. The goose feathers are now an item that you can actually import via the global trade network. So you can actually import a lot of these into an island and just export them off everywhere. And the bear fur, there are items you can use in the Arctic to actually use forest density out there. So you can actually have little farm islands just producing lots of bear fur, and it comes in at a fairly decent rate, so it's fairly easy to make. Now, it is the least effective on the actual happiness. However, it is the most effective on the actual income. It is having a fairly weak effect on the light bulbs, but it has a strong effect on the spectacles, which, if we have a look over here, spectacles are one of the population increasing items. So is the light bulbs. So this is good for boosting and maintaining your actual population. And it is good for boosting actual income out from the increased population. So this is a fairly okay one, as it is fairly easy to maintain and it has a good income. However, if you are struggling on happiness, that is the only downfall that you can have on this. And the last one is for your scholars. Again, now affects the scholars' residence. And this is affecting or utilizing the Saga cow, which is importable, the wool, which is importable, and the Wanza wood, which is very, very easy to manufacture and obtain from Embessa. So this one is a very easy one to maintain. And as it is extremely poor on happiness, terrible on income boosting. However, it is a huge 20% reduction on telephone consumption rates. The telephones are very slow at producing. They are consumed quickly. They take a big footprint to actually make the actual telephones. So this is really good for just trying to keep your consumption rate on the actual telephones down. Now, with the actual scholars, the one problem with that item, as you can see here, the secondary item, pocket watches, has no effect on the actual scholars. So while it is very good for telephone reduction, that's all you're going to get from this one. So it's going to be good for plonking in the middle of your island over here. Like if we had it on this population island here for the scholars in the middle, just to reduce consumption rate on the actual telephones, it will be fairly useful. However, the scholars items are very, very limited. They don't cross over into any of the other items. On the next video, we'll be looking at the last of the stores, which is going to be the drugstore. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, do appreciate any likes on the video and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below if there's any other videos you'd like me to cover off next. Take care and I'll catch you on the next one.